Another one by Steve Earle and the Dukes off the 2020 album Goes to West Virginia, though the vocals on this are by the fiddler of the group, Eleanor Whitmore. If I could see your face again. Well, I lived here all my life. Don't know why I'm still surprised that the sunset comes so early in this valley. And if I'm not on my toes, the twilight comes and goes, and I'm all alone with darkness all around me. If I could see your face again, black with coal until you grin, cuts like sunshine through the shadow of the mountain, I'd drop everything and run like I know I should have done every time you come home to me in the evening. Tonight's just like the night before. Ain't nobody walking through that door. If I could touch you one more time, just to hold your hand in mine, I'd never let it go again, I promise. Maybe we could find a town. Dreams aren't buried underground, and not so many ghosts around to haunt us. And every breath is not a prayer until I turn around and find you there. If I could just see your face again, and I knew what I know then, I wouldn't make you work so hard to win me. I'd surrender to your arms, wrapped around me safe and warm, 'cause I knew you were the one from the beginning. And I'd give almost anything if I could only see your face again. There Goes My Hero, Part 3, Holy Ghost Town. Let me tell you what the American pipe dream is. The American motherfucking pipe dream is what these fucking goddamn Bruce Springsteen songs are really about. That these dumbass motherfucking fascist sympathizing totalitarian limp-dicked economically bullshit racist fucking conservative politicians and even fucking of all parties could never understand about Born in the USA. What that was really about. What it really means to be born in the coal mine, what the movie Deer Hunter was really about, how Deer Hunter was not a war film. It was more, even more than Platoon, about the war that was us, that is America. It is the American dream, the false promise, this capitalistic fucking nightmare that no matter how hard you try to fly and break free from, you end up a fucking, usually just another goddamn statistic, another fucking corpse. A victim of circumstance. A casualty of civilization, is what it is. Nothing we could have done except everything we could have done. Who could have seen this but anybody who could have had fucking their eyes open, one fucking eye open, you could have seen this shit coming. And even before this thing, this tragedy of my father's life came to a denouement, at least in his physical form, I knew. because I saw it from the day I was born, and I was perpetuating it myself, and who Lord knows I still am. My father was born to Irish, like their parents were Ellis Island, Irish. Danny Moffat and, oh, I'm forgetting my fucking grandmother's maiden name. I know it. I have a birth certificate. Somewhere, I think, or something. Not a birth certificate, maybe. I got mine. I don't know. Do I have my mother's birth certificate? I gotta find that and dispose of it. Good. So Betty and Danny hooked up. How Irish were they that she was a fucking teamster working for fucking Hartford Distributors out of Manchester? This became notorious for the shooting that happened at Dude Omar a few years back. But they're more or less a subsidiary of Budweiser, pretty much, So I think my grandmother was a forklift driver there. And then my grandfather was a fucking, like a booze distributor to liquor stores. He sold booze to liquor stores, War vet, World War II vet. Fucking, he earned his whiteness. That's why he got the fucking gavel and the Masonic shit, if you know what I mean. So I have 3 kids. Danny Jr., Lorraine, and William. Francis. Was he named that because they lived on William Street and the next street nearby was Francis Street? Yeah, that's my theory. That's my running theory. I haven't got it confirmed. My father used to be like, yeah. So, perhaps. My father was born. Fucking, you can see it. And again, I'm resisting it with the sneer, but look at how handsome my father is. Like, almost beautiful, like for a man. Like, he was charming. Again, I don't think he was good at math, just like me, but he was smart as shit. He knew how to talk to people. He'd always tell me. He would say, well, no matter what you're doing, this is when I was on my way to Trinity. I thought I was about to somehow, like, fucking make it and, like, somehow be upwardly mobile. Missed it by this much. Get dumb. But, so, well, treat the people, treat the janitor the same way you do the CEO. Well, you treat the janitor better. You don't treat the CEO. Well, hey, that's not the point. The point is, treat everybody the same. From the lowest rung to the bottom, because you meet them coming up, you meet them coming down. But he also would say something beyond that. It didn't matter if you were going up or down, just wherever you were at, treat people with the dignity that they deserve. See through that. So yeah, he always wanted to be really an athlete. He had other dreams too, like every kid. I see it in some of his older shit that I got as he was a kid. But he wanted to be an athlete. He was a great basketball player. An amazing athlete. And that's why I'm so happy that when I was giving him his intervention and he was detoxing, I put up prominently on the top of the stairs, and this wasn't even basketball, but his baseball, when he won, he's Catholic, they won the state championships. Remember when they said they weren't going to fucking even go, 9-0 or something, and I don't know, 9-10, yeah. So I put that up there just to make him feel better about himself. And then I did get a chance to one morning I did over here, and he probably didn't even know I would hear this, because he was still playing, stubborn. The disease was. But he saw that, and he signs that man that said, "Good job, Dad," one day at a time, and he said, "Good job, son." He was proud of what I was doing. And then when he was having a seizure, which now I'm realizing could probably compounded by the fucking, how many overdoses can you go through? How much can your brain handle? The immune system before, inevitable cancer. And of course, but I see him. But I'm sitting down there waiting, and he's cognizant enough, And as he comes down, I overhear the ambulance people, these big burly men, they're like, "Oh, wow. You were the state champ? Wow, that's really impressive." Then he was like, "Yeah, they were undefeated." So he went out, and they knew. I hope he remembered that. I hope that was one of the things that he remembered when he was fading into that coma to the vegetative state. I'm proud to have done it for him. It's the least I could do while he was alive. And I gotta say some wonderful things to him. And again, the last 3 words were, "I love you." He didn't return it back. I think he even said, "Fuck you," or something. But like, I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. I could see it in his face when I got through to him. When I realized why he was the way he was, why he was so sad and depressed, because he was fed a dream that he could have been somebody. He didn't realize it just meant being sober, being in the moment. That's all that mattered, being happy. The lesson he tried to teach me. My mother would make him forget that. She would. She would always rain on his parade. Anytime she saw him and I having a good time, she'd be fucking pissed. She'd be, "Yeah, you're out to get me." No. I mean, in a way, we're trying to beat this disease that you clearly don't want to quit and leave behind. But you know what? Even though a month and a half of it were in a vegetative coma, my father strung together almost 3 months, 2.5 months of sobriety. I made aside for whatever meds he was on, the chemo. Alright? If Corona didn't happen, I would have been still miserable, probably doing food service work, and by who knows. Eventually I could have started doing hard drugs. Everyone else around there was. And I would have just cut my parents off because I wouldn't want them to see it. And maybe I keep my job. Corona does happen, but I don't move back home. I don't realize what's going on. I don't get a chance to finally get to come to terms with who my parents are. Because guess what? If my father just overdosed and died and I wasn't around, I never would have known the goddamn fucking thing. I would have believed whatever lie my mother would have told me, but I got a chance to find out the truth. My father always told me everything happens for a reason. And I would always say, "That's just your fucking Catholic nonsense talking. That's the gobbledygook. Things just happen and we find a reason for them, Father." But I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. Things happen. Things fall apart, that I do know. A better world than a just world. This guy could be living on the beach right now. Retired, just fucking shit. Maybe living off NBA bench warmer salary. Or maybe he was the mayor, he's got a cushy job. Or maybe he just lived the exact life he lived. But could have used his pension to get away from his shrew of a wife in this dead-end town East Hartford and played a goddamn game of catch with his son. But he was deprived of that chance because of a series of unfortunate events. But hey, things happen for a reason. Huh? People kept going out there, not wearing masks, not taking COVID seriously. Things happen for a reason. My motherfucking ODs, this dude doesn't let me know, fucking has a fucking pulls mind games, gaslights everybody. Things happen for a reason. Why'd he get COVID? In the hospital. Everything happens for a reason, right? Tell me why.